So this is the Twiggy Mura.
It is the Twiggy Mura, also owned by Bernie Eccleston.
Fantastic, and very fittingly, he's got two ladies in it today, which is brilliant.
Dressed in green to match the car.
It's a 1962 right-hand drive 250 GT short wheelbase. It's the last of the 12 short wheelbases made that weren't competition cars. And it's a bit weird because it was delivered new to the States in right-hand drive with a speedo in kilometres for some strange reason.
I don't know if you can hear me in there, but you're obviously...
It's very noisy and very hot. If I had the clothes on, I'd be in a much happier place. This is a sauna today.
But you are in the shade.
Yeah, we're doing our very best, but I want to switch the engine off, but I'm very worried it won't start again, so we're going to carry on.
Keeping it going.
See, I've got a very convenient microphone hole as well. Where would we be without...
It's a very historic car. It was a works car for Ferrari in 1950, and it did the Mille Miglia. It came fourth overall and first in class, and then it raced on the Targa Florio with Villoresi. The factory sold it and it went off to Portugal, and it had several very famous Portuguese racing drivers for a few years. And eventually it landed up in a museum there, came into England in about 72, and we managed to buy it about 10 years later.
So how long have you had the car?
86, 87, something like that. A long time.
Right, as long as I've been repairing
I was just going to say,
Ferraris.
you're now going to tell me since you're before you were born or something.
No, I've been repairing these beautiful cars since 86. Have you ever been tempted to restore it? It's in beautiful original condition.
No, I'm one of these girls that I hate over restored cars, so I want my cars to be as they raced in period. So hence, we keep all the cars in period condition.
As you can see behind me, the tension's building. The judges are here looking at this beautiful 275 GTB 4CAM with the owner. It's probably the most tense time. All the build-up, as we found out earlier, the guys that have polished this car for hours and hours and hours, and the workshop time and everything, all culminates in this 5 minutes or so when they're talking to the judges. Obviously, from a judging point of view, I mean, there's some beautiful cars here today. We've had cars that have got historic significance. We've had cars that are unbelievably clean, and you've had to try and decipher right from wrong, and obviously pull out a worthy winner. What have been the tough decisions today?
It was very tough, and we did judge the F40s, and we had, I think, 14 F40s. And I have to say, I mean, it's really difficult to find something. Most of them were very, very nicely preserved and well maintained, looked very original. It was brutal. It took us much more time than what I thought.
Certainly expected, yeah. It was down to things like an unstandard exhaust, basically,
yes.
At the end of the day, really. And it's very small details that, like marks on the paintwork and incorrect finishes here and there that, makes the judgment at the end of the day.
Minor details, really the small stuff.
Very well prepared.
Because they are so good, as you say, you are deciphering over minute discrepancies on each car.
And people obviously like the F40s, and they maintain them very properly, and which is fantastic. I mean, they drive them, they enjoy them, but they also treat them very well, which is really good.
I mean, a fabulous day for you today. You've got a lot of cars up here today. Have you enjoyed the event?
Yeah, absolutely first class. I mean, we didn't know what to really expect. It was the first car we've ever entered in a concourse, and to win it and the best restoration, we were really thrilled. So very exciting. And I'm very happy for the boys in the workshop. Spent 2 years putting that car together, finished it on Tuesday, brought it down, and a lot of love and attention's gone into it, and we were thrilled that the judges respected that.
Is this the first time you've shown this car?
No, I've had the car for a few years now, so it's the second or third time, but We did Milli Migli in 2011. So.
You get a bunch of like-minded individuals, automotive enthusiasts who've given up their time, their pride and their passion here with the concours, the most amazing Chubb Insurance concours we have ever put on. The compliments and feedback we've had has been incredible. And on the supercar lawn, the same, hey David?
Yeah, I mean we're in September this year instead of June where we've been before, but still with the last automotive event of the calendar, but we've still got cars on the front lawn that haven't seen the light of day at any shows in the UK before. So, you know, exhibitors coming this year from Croatia, from Slovenia, from Germany, from Switzerland, all over the place. So it's really, it's growing.
It's a Pegaso, made in 1953. Pegaso was a Spanish manufacturer. Their chief engineer was an ex-Ferrari man, so you'll know about him, Wilfredo Ricard. He left Ferrari and went to work for Pegaso, which at the time were making sort of fairly humdrum vehicles in Spain. Ironically enough, they were making trucks, and they still do today.
Sally, here we are back in the 166, but now it's just won Best of Show at Salon Prive. I mean, fantastic.
I mean, it's unbelievable because I think we were discussing before and I was saying to you it's a very original little racing car and certainly not a concours car. So a big surprise that it's actually got Best of Show.
But I think it's fantastic that they've actually recognised usable cars and cars with patina, and the recognition is obviously the cup you're holding now.
Yeah, very much so, and it's very refreshing to have a group of judges who have actually looked at it. I mean, not being biased, it is obviously a very pretty car because it's one of the touring bodies, and touring, they're so renowned for doing beautiful bodies. But the fact is that it is very much a little workhorse, and it's out doing stuff all the time.
It is brilliant. Well, many congratulations. Fantastic win and well rewarded. Very nice to see you today. Thank you.
We were very close on the Best of Show. There were just two cars in it at the very end. And it was really very, very difficult. And eventually you have to go down to, not that we actually had to convince anybody, but in our own mind you had to say, well, why would I vote for this car? And you have to say, well, what it did for motor racing, what it did for motoring over the years, and the design that you see in it, which you might say, yeah, but it's not as beautiful as an Aston Martin DBR1 or something, but you say, hold on, this is earlier than that.
Yeah, the historic is significant.
And the Aston Martin DBR1, for example, learnt from this Ferrari here, and so did the AC, and so on and so forth. Everybody learnt from this sort of car, and I mean, also, the car also happened to win the 1959 Le Mans. So it's all rather special, and they're very, very rare. So, and it's driven all the time, and it's, run
and
up
it's
down.
used, yes.
And it's used, and I think it's not there polished away and brought up looking like a sort of,
fantastic.
That's right. So I think it's brilliant that they bother to to go to such effort with all the cars, but then we get the really super genuine cars as well, just mix in there. And I think it's vital you go for not just the prettiest car, not just the shiniest car, but the real genuine car.
We've got to remember there's two classes of car enthusiasts. There's those who drive them, and there's the others who just love the shape and the design and really worship in that way. And this is just a mix of those. And funny enough, the winner, the car that actually won, they've never entered a concourse before, and that car is just in perpetual motion. I think it's 9 Millimilias they've done.
It does everything with them, doesn't it?
It's not a typical concourse car, so I think it's great that it's won, and it just shows that it's not those absolutely pristine, never turned a wheel type of cars that can win these events, and it should be just a celebration of the very best art in cars, and I think this is what Salon Prive have done this time.